Hey, what's up, BeatStars family? Welcome to another episode of BeatStars Academy. Today we've got Jamil as always and our special guest Sidney, where we're going to be talking about how best to utilize social media to your advantage for beat selling and just building your brand awareness, etc. But before we get into it, we have a couple of announcements to make. We have a new featured opportunity. Gel Ill is looking for aggressive, new wave, high energy beats that have an element of sound design. Examples of sounds would be adjacent to people like Playboy Carti, Yeats, Lil Uzi Vu, and you can submit, as always, at beatstars.world special opportunities. Submissions end on November the 17th, so make sure you check that out. And then secondly, we've got Battle of the Type Beats coming up again next week, next Tuesday, November the 9th. And we're going to be hosting another episode of Battle of the Type Beats. And this is going to be a matchup between Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion. I always say that wrong. So you can submit your beats at, again, www.beatstars.world/opportunities for a chance to have your beat played on the show. So make sure you tune in to see who wins that. So, yeah, welcome, everyone. Welcome, Sidney. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Cool.
This is the first appearance of Sidney on BeatStars Academy. This is pretty cool. I don't think I've ever appeared with Sidney on any program.
No, me neither.
This is fun. We all know each other, guys.
Oh no. We have to change that. That means I have to get you guys on Battle of the Type Beats now.
Hell yeah.
I think Lee would be pretty good on that. I don't really know if I would how much I would add on that, but no, it's cool. Like it's always good to get other people's opinions. See, this is what we bring for you guys on BeatStars Academies. We never claim to know everything. So we like to bring in the experts in their respective fields. Sidney is the social media coordinator for the BeatStars account. So yeah, we wanted to bring her on to, kind of continue this discussion of social media and utilizing social media that sort of started with the social media masterclass. Is that available to watch later, Sidney? If you RSVP'd, you can check that out later, I believe. But I believe we had that last week with Aaron. So this is just kind of like a continuation of that discussion and sort of maybe talking about some more like real world applications of some of those kind of themes and concepts that were introduced during that masterclass. So we want to get everybody in on the conversation. So don't be shy. If anything comes to mind, you have any questions, any comments, any suggestions for the BeatStars community, please let us know in the comments. We'll put your comment up on the screen and we'll just kind of go from there. So I think without further ado, we can kind of get into it.
Yeah.
So Sidney ever so kindly laid out kind of like a basic outline of some of the things that we wanted to talk about today. So Sid, go ahead and take it away. Let's get to our first topic.
Just before, I just want to let everyone know that the quiz is back. So make sure you stick around to the end of the show because, as always, we're going to have the Academy quiz where you can have a chance to be featured on the official BeatStars Academy playlist, which everyone loves. So yeah, stick around.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, that's the real prize here. And also, thank you for interrupting me, Lee. I was talking too much without a break, and I was starting
No,
to.
you did really well, by the way. I was like super impressed. I was like, wow.
Wow, thanks.
Man, I love being on the show with you guys already. All right, so we can kind of go through some of the topics, and I guess, like they said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them up. But Aaron, during the master class, really went over a couple of the main fundamentals when it comes to social media, which includes just how to tell your story online, choosing the right platform to tell your story, content planning, and then overall building an engaging community with the audience and the fan base that you end up building on those social platforms. We can kind of go through each of these topics on their own if you guys want, or we can go through the questions. I don't know how you guys want to break it down.
Yeah, no, I think we could just start off with some of the topics and then just kind of briefly explain what we refer to them, and me and Jamil can put in our 5 cents, and from our experience as well, we can offer some of our experience as well using social media.
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing that she really goes into is telling your story online. And I think the biggest takeaway from that specific topic point was she was talking about value proposition, which, to narrow it down, because she really went into it, it's essentially why, what, and who. So why are you doing what you're doing? What value are you giving to them because of what you're doing? And who are you trying to find? So who is your target audience? I think out of those three within that value proposition, they all kind of rely on one another in order to get this like 100% right. And this takes a really long time to get down. It's not something that you just like on a piece of paper, you're like, okay, I'm going to write down what these are and boom, we're done. My social media is planned and we're good to go. No, it's something that takes time, and you really kind of have to learn from your audience as you're figuring it out. So you really want to start with your why, which is, why are you doing what you're doing, and kind of dig a little bit deeper than what you might think. So for example, for a producer, you might think, why are you doing what you're doing? I want to make a living off of selling beats. But then when you're looking at social media, maybe, why are you sharing it with people? Are you giving tips? Are you showing people your journey? And why are you doing that? Like, dig another layer deeper. Is it because maybe you struggled when you first started, so you want to be relatable to other people as well? And really just keep asking yourself that question until you get to the most like in-depth level that you can, and try to represent that when you're on social media, and try to represent that to your fans and to your audience. Then when it comes to that one's pretty basic. It's just, what are you offering as far as value? So that can either be, I'm offering you some really dope beats to listen to. That could be, I'm offering you tips. I'm offering you content. Sometimes it's just, I'm offering you entertainment. If you like watching me like cook up beats on IG Live or something like that. And then your who is your ideal user, your ideal fan, your ideal buyer, depending on what you're doing and what you're selling, or what you're, I guess, making. And that would be like, is your ideal person somebody who just started off, somebody who's been in the business for a couple of years? So for example, if your page is all about giving tips and tricks for when you're first starting off as a producer, you're probably not going to want to market to like the Cash Money APs of the world. You're probably going to want to go for people who might be
Just
like
starting out. Yeah.
me, right?
Yeah.
So I think you really have to think about those things before you can really get into your branding and all the cooler stuff of social media. And it's just really a lot of self-reflection as far as your brand goes, or your business, and trying to get that out there to everybody. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you guys have really interesting insights as well, because I know, Lee, obviously you're a producer, so you've probably gone through this yourself. And Jamil, you deal with the content YouTube side of BeatStars, so I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah. So I actually joined Instagram quite late. And And to be honest, with you, I didn't really know what it was about first. And then I just obviously into music. That was the type of accounts that I was following, and just checking out. And I was just seeing what other people were doing. And I literally just started off by just posting. But I really like what you said there about you know, why is it that you're utilizing social media, or what is it you're trying to share, or you know. And the first thing that always come to mind for me was just to be like genuine, just like try to be who I am as a person, not trying to fake it or like try to like pretend to be someone else, because I really wanted people to like really connect with what I was doing. And I think as well, it's easier to continue being yourself than it is trying to put up this facade, or like, do you know what I mean? Like this kind of character that's not even you. So that's kind of what I tried to do. And then I was just finding things that would work. Like I know that when I post now, what I've realized is that when I post a picture of my studio, even if I've posted it 100 times before, it still does really well, because that's what I realize the people I'm following really like seeing, because they're like, oh, I really wish, you know, I'll get replies to the photo, and it'd be like, oh, your studio looks amazing. I'd love to have my studio like that one day. So it's like kind of like, I guess it's not me showing off, but it was kind of me like showing my achievements of where I was and where I am now, you know. And I think that's quite, because like you're saying, it's part of a story. So I've been using Instagram for that. I've not been utilizing it so much lately. I've kind of fell back on it, but I need to get back on it for sure. But obviously all these other platforms come out, like TikTok and all these other ones as well. So, but I just found Instagram for me just really worked, and I've built so many relationships off of Instagram. I met some amazing people. Yeah, and obviously now you can do the BeatStars, the IG lives, which is great, by the way. I've actually made some beats whilst being on live, and they've been some of my like top selling ones. Like, because people in the chat are like like engaging with you and like giving you some ideas and stuff. So it's super cool. So for me, I kind of just like, I like using Instagram to show off like my abilities, but also to share some stuff back. You know, when you're passionate about something, music, I don't necessarily feel like I'm purposefully putting all my content out there on Instagram to make beat sales. I don't like look at it that way. Naturally, it ends up that way, but I think that's because I'm just being myself a little bit. You know, I think it really helps showing your face as well. I know not all producers like doing that, but that was a big thing for me. That made a huge difference for me personally.
Yeah.
I know you can find me on BeatStars Academy every other Wednesday.
No, yeah,
So,
I think you're 100% right. And we're going to touch on a couple of the things that you mentioned. But
yeah,
one thing that you said was like, for example, people really like it when you post your studio, right?
yeah, they love
And
it.
I think you also have to think about when you're on social media, like, how did people find you and what are they following you for?
Yeah,
Right? Because, for example, if people found you because they saw a picture of your studio and they were like, that's so dope, I need to follow him to figure out how to get my studio like this. And then all of a sudden you're posting content like, I don't know, watch me travel around the world. It's like, that's really cool, but that's not what I signed up for.
yeah,
I signed up for studios, you know what I mean? So you also have to stay in line with what it is that your audience is asking of you. With that in mind, it's also interesting because you could come up with like what we were just talking about, your value proposition, and you could think that the biggest thing you have to offer is, I don't know, maybe like tips or something like that.
hmm,
And then one time you post like a really funny TikTok or something like that, still relevant to music, but that one ends up blowing up. And maybe it turns out that people really like it when you do this type of content versus what you thought was going to be your value proposition, right?
yeah,
So I think you also kind of have to like trial and error and figure out what your audience wants from you and what they like about you, and just emphasize those strengths in a way. So
yeah,
that's really interesting.
One of my favorite posts I've ever seen from Lee was this one where he was playing one of his beats and he was just making like crazy faces and dancing to it. I was
Oh,
just
that
like,
one, yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
that
that one.
was one where I just basically said, this is what we look like in the studio as producers when we make like a banging beat, and these are the kind of like faces that we pull like behind the scenes. I'd never done that before. Kind of, it was kind of like a, I don't know. I'm a little bit random when it comes to stuff
Yeah, I
like
mean,
that.
I
I'll
like
just,
seeing that side of you because, like, like we talk all the time, and like, I know how funny you are, and like, and how chill you are. But sometimes when you have like a business social media account, kind of like yours is, I mean, it's not like it's not like it feels it's not like it feels like corporate or anything, but you are like using it to like advertise your music and show people your music. So I
yeah,
think maybe sometimes things like that can get lost, and it's sort of hard to like discern, like, okay, like when should I have a fun post, when should I have like a salesy kind of approach. And I think like all those things can kind of blend together,
yeah,
because like like today is like the day and age of like the fun business social media. Like I've been seeing a lot of those things. Like I don't know if you guys have ever seen like Duolingo's TikToks, and like in Duolingo's TikToks are hilarious. And in all the comments, everybody's always like Wendy's, like Wendy's Twitter walked, so Duolingo could run. And I think like people just really appreciate like kind of like those sillier like social media
yeah,
accounts. So, and I think like like you as an independent, you do have a lot more like wiggle room to be able to like, because you are the owner, like you're making the executive decisions. It's not going through like a pipeline like it might with like a bigger corporation. So like you can get to like experiment with those. If you find out that those don't perform well and people are like, what the fuck is this? Then you can stop it. But I mean, like, I think everybody, like producers, you guys do have that flexibility to be able to
yeah.
like, experiment with different things. So I wouldn't rule anything out just because you haven't seen anybody do it. You might be like a trailblazer in the sense of whatever particular lane that you want to go in.
Yeah, and I think also as well, you have to feel comfortable with what you're doing, because if you don't, then it's not going to come off right. So I always look at it like that, and that was just like a spur of the moment thing because I was just feeling really good about a beat I just made. So I was like, why not share it? But again, my intentions were like, I'm going to share this because I want to show it off. It was like, I'm feeling really good about this. I really want to share it with other people and hope they get the same feeling from it. So that's the way I approach personally my social media. But obviously for everyone else, it's different, right? You have, but like you said, Sidney, that takes time to figure out, and it's not like something that you can figure out overnight. But to your point, like Jamil, I don't think you should be worried about, if you really want to post something, like, and it means something to you, or you got like some kind of emotion out of it or something, whether it was like fun, whether it made you cry, whatever. I think like you shouldn't be worried about sharing it, because if you get that feeling from it, I'm sure other people will as well. And that can, it helps, like, people never saw that side of me before. Now they have. And it's kind of, oh, like he's got this different side to him, and that could work for anyone. Everyone's got their own different characters. So I think it's pretty cool that
Yeah.
you can.
So what you're essentially telling me is that next time I'm watching a romantic movie and I cry, I should post that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'll do it.
It's
I'll
going
see
to
how
show a
people like
sensitive
it.
side to you, right? So
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
don't think
follow
anybody
you
wants to see my
that
sensitive
post.
side on my
you're going to
Instagram.
wait for that post. Sydney's waiting for that post.
I'm
Just like
gonna
checking
follow
every
you,
day,
keep a
like this.
monitor every single one. No, I'm joking. But no, like all of this is like all facts, honestly, because if you think about it, when you're looking at it from a business side or from like a branding side, as far as producer or like a business like BeatStars, there's tons of businesses, there's tons of producers. What makes you stand out? Like, why am I following you? Like, it could literally be something that simple. Like, I could follow you just because I like the faces that you make when you're cooking up a
Yeah,
beat, and that's why I want to follow you. And it's super simple, and it seems like it's not a big deal, or it's just you being yourself. But a lot of people don't do that, because sometimes you see bigger accounts and you're like, wow, they're successful doing XYZ, so I'm going to mimic that. But you have to remember, like, you can mimic in a way where you're adapting it to your own style, but
yeah,
full blown like copycatting, they're successful in that because their fan base likes that about them. So you just have to figure out what your fan base likes about you.
yeah,
And same thing with a business. Like, big corporations, like it's really easy to be businessy. It's a little harder for a business to show like where their heart is and what their meaning behind their business and why they do what they do. And I also think that's why BeatStars does a really good job at just, embracing the BeatStars family and the community, even like our chat right now, or, our chats in our other lives, like everybody's so interactive, and it's because we genuinely care about our community. We're not just here like use our platform to sell beats and then we don't care if you're successful or not,
Yeah.
we're really here to walk you through the journey. And so I think that's the difference. And you just have to figure out what that is for your brand or your business. So
Yeah, and obviously we're all creatives as well. So you have like I tend to feel like creative people are very I don't know, I can't think of the right word, but like we're a little bit different in a sense, like we have business heads obviously, and we have to have that to make sales on beats and stuff, and to have a business mind. Um, but creative people, they just love to create. So you should definitely like use that more for social media and figure out how you can do that. But
yeah,
it's cool. It's
for
definitely cool.
sure.
All right,
So
should we look at some comments really quick? Is there
Yeah.
anything?
Has anyone got any questions? I saw Buffo. Buffo put, "We got to get silly to make a milli." I love that.
What do you think about hashtags?
Yeah.
Yeah.
hashtags, let's see. Are they dead or are they still important? I think they're still important. And I saw another question just asking if you should try to get super specific or a little bit more on the general side. And I think one, it depends on the platform, and two, it depends on your growth and how big you might be, or I guess what your platform and your audience is. So to make that make a little bit more sense, if you are just starting off and you're still trying to find your audience, then using a hashtag that is blowing up or that is a lot bigger might not help you as much, because the people that are seeing your post when they're looking up this really big hashtag are probably going to be looking for the bigger companies, the bigger brands, the bigger influencers. So if you're just starting off and you're just trying to build that community up, then I would use more personalized hashtags that your community will recognize you for, and where if somebody does look up that hashtag, they are going to know exactly what they were looking for. They're receiving exactly what they were looking for. And now you have a fan, or now you have a follower. If you're bigger, then I would suggest, okay, use some of those more general trending hashtags, because now you already kind of have that fan base. So now if that fan base is looking up that trending hashtag and they see you, they're definitely going to click on you because you already have that support from them.
Yeah.
So I think it depends what stage in your social media you are. And then it also depends on the platform, because, for example, everything that I just said, scratch that when it comes to TikTok. When it comes to TikTok, you want to use those trending hashtags. You want to be on topic, and you want to make sure you're riding that wave as much as you can. So it does depend on the platform, but hashtags are definitely not dead. It's definitely a good way, like I said, when you're starting off, to build that fan base. And it might seem a little bit corny sometimes if you're like, I don't want to put like a million hashtags in my caption, or put a comment and have a million hashtags in there. And if it feels corny to you, don't do it. But also, if it feels corny to you, you're probably using too many, or you're probably being a little bit too much with it. So really use your own judgment, right? Like, if this is something you saw from somebody else, how would you feel about it? Right?
Yeah.
So if you're using one hashtag, two hashtags, maybe three, but they're super relevant to your post, or sometimes they just like, they flow really nicely with your caption or something like that. Think about, like, if I was scrolling through my Instagram or my Twitter and I saw somebody do this, would I think it's annoying or cringy, or would I think like, oh, okay, that's a cool post, right?
Yeah.
So also try to put yourself in your audience's shoes and your followers' shoes and try to think like, how would they view me? What could I be doing better? What should I do more of? What should I do less of? And try to kind of analyze your social platforms that way, I would say.
Yeah, I've seen sometimes when I've like searched through hashtags and I've seen some of the stuff and I'm like, this has no relevance whatsoever to this post. And that can be quite annoying because you can actually see that they're using the trending hashtags just to like get there, you know. But then when you look at the post, I mean, that can probably potentially be damaging. I don't know for sure if that would be, but yeah, sometimes it's quite annoying when you see those, you know. But yeah, I think with me with the hashtags, I was just doing some research, but I also was trying to think of ones, you know, that were relevant. Like like you said, if I was putting myself in my audience shoes and I was searching on a specific hashtag, what would I expect to see, you know? And then obviously, if you're not seeing what you're expecting to see, then you're not really going to follow up with that person or probably take more notice of them, you know. So I guess you don't really use social media so much, Jamil, do you? Every now and again, I see you put a couple of things out there.
Yeah, every once in a while I have like a post. I mostly just kind of like repost like whenever I'm about to appear
Yeah,
on one of these shows. But yeah, I do, always like just try to keep track of what everybody's posting online. And I think like to me, like I think it doesn't like bother me or seem cringe at all when I see a lot of hashtags, unless like the hashtags are like really silly and and there's no reason for a person to be posting them. Like if it's just like a random person that you know from high school and they're putting a million hashtags on their picture of like their food, it's like, well, who cares? Like, why are you even doing that? But I mean, like for somebody who's trying to get their music out there, it comes with the territory. Everybody understands because like it's just like a way for people to like discover you. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, people search for hashtags because they want to find things that they like, right? So don't feel like ashamed of putting like hashtag like trap beat or something.
yeah.
For trap beats, this is what they want to see. So I wouldn't do that. I think I see a lot of people talking about shadow bans. I'm not really sure, how I'm not even sure how that even like works. If you use too many hashtags, and you might get shadow banned. I've never heard of that.
No.
So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No, I
off.
was just going to say, I think a lot of these platforms, you know, they change quite often their like algorithms and their processes. So I guess it's just like having a, I mean, Sydney will probably, you know, give some more insight on it, but I think it's just a balance and just making sure that you're not overdoing stuff or underdoing stuff, both ways, you know, I think potentially.
I've seen on YouTube like people putting like a million keywords in their description.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not sure how much that helps personally. I've seen people do that, and then their videos have like thousands of views, and I've seen some people do that and they have like 100 views. So I don't think there's any like particular formula to say that it'll work 100% of the time or it will never work. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, all these algorithms can be kind of complicated. Yeah.
I think in the majority, and I think most of the time, there just needs to be relevancy. I think in most cases, like if you're using stuff just to what's the word? Like if you're just trying to like boost stuff for no reason and it doesn't make any sense, you know, those platforms are not going to want to boost that content because it is no relevance. And in fact, it's going to have a detrimental effect on the platform because people are like, oh, like Instagram is boosting this or TikTok is boosting this and it has no relevancy at all. So why would we want to promote this content any further, you know? So I guess that's how they would look at it. So you just need to make sure, I think, that you're relevant or whatever you're using is relevant. You know, if it makes sense, I think that's probably the main thing. I think I would say, but I'm not sure. I don't work for them, so I can't say for sure.
No, 100%. I think that's what people were talking about when they're talking about getting shadow banned. It's just if think about it, like if you're a new user on TikTok or Twitter, whatever social media, and you use a whole bunch of hashtags, and let's use Jamil's example, you're putting up food, but you see that Meg the Stallion is trending, so you use Meg the Stallion hashtag on a picture of food. Instagram's going to be like, okay, cool. They'll put it up once. And then when they see that no one's interacting with it based off of your hashtag, then the next time Instagram might not be as likely to try to boost your post because they noticed that nobody was engaging. And it's not that they know that you put up a picture of food and you put up Meg the Stallion. It's just that they noticed that nobody was engaging with something that you posted and you low-key like dug yourself in a hole. Yeah. So you might want to just make sure that what you're doing is relevant and just everything is lining up, everything is matching up as it should be. Yeah. So I think that's where that kind of just comes into play. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if you guys want to go to the other topics or if you want to keep answering.
Yeah, sure. No,
we can move on.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. So the other two things that Erin talked about, and these are kind of quick, but she talked about choosing the right platform, which we've been talking about for a little bit already. And she had this pretty laid out. You guys can go rewatch it if you want a deeper explanation, but to kind of lay it out for you guys, she explained that TikTok was more for brand awareness, which makes sense because it's kind of drawing back the curtain on your businessy side or, you know, your brand if you're just one person, and really getting to know the person. How do they speak? Are they funny? You know, do they like just giving you informational tips and tricks? Like, what is it about them and why do you like them? And that makes your why a lot easier when you're thinking about that first like value proposition. When you think about Instagram is a little bit of everything, but what it's really good for is driving traffic. So for example, if you're a producer, making sure that you have your links on there or making sure that you're telling people where they can find the rest of something. So like if you put up a teaser video or something like that. So you're getting yourself out there, but then you're leading people to somewhere else. For Twitter, it's definitely building your community. I think we all knew this from the jump. Twitter has always been a very blunt, raw, out there space. I think that's what a lot of people love about it. And that can be intimidating to brands or big companies. But if you're really sure of yourself and what it is that you're providing to the people around you, then I don't think it's as scary. You can get on there and really jump into these interesting and controversial conversations because being in those conversations gets you more on the map than just like standing silent, you know?
Yeah.
So make sure that you do speak up on those interesting topics and really speak up about the things that you do care about, because that whole notion of like a business has no place in politics or a business has no place in XYZ, that's kind of being thrown more out the door. The more and more that I guess these topics are coming up because people want to know that the business that they're supporting supports them. Yeah. So you want to make sure that you are speaking up on these topics because staying silent is not going to do you much good. And that's where Twitter comes in. And then obviously BeatStars is where you get all your sales. So you want to make sure, like we were saying with relevance, same thing goes on the platform. And I'm sure Lee, you can attest to this 100%. You want to make sure that your title is relevant to what type beat it is and that your type beat actually fills out the tags and the metadata. Like, you know, I don't want to see like I'm looking for a Lil Durk type beat and then the graphic is Olivia Rodrigo. Like, what is going on? You want to make sure everything makes sense. And that makes it easier for somebody that's looking for a beat to find what they're looking for. And it makes it easier for you to make a sale. So Erin touched on all of those a little bit as far as like where they go, what matches up with what. But at the end of the day, if you're first starting off and you have a bigger audience on one platform versus another, then you can also use those platforms to kind of lead users and followers and audience members to your other platforms. And also remember that you can repurpose content as well. So for example, if you're really popular on Twitter, because you give out weekly tips or like a tip a day or something like that, and you're thinking like, I need to grow my Instagram audience, but I don't know how to do it. I don't want to just repost the tweet. What do I do? Try to think of ways to repurpose. So for example, maybe you don't want to screenshot that tweet and just post it on Instagram, but maybe you can make a reel and talk out the tip and
Yeah.
really dig into it, you know? So just think of ways that you can kind of, again, emphasize what you're already doing that's good and just make it a bigger strength than it already is.
Yeah, it's just like a different format, right? So
Mhm.
like you're saying, you're utilizing the same content, but then you can do it in a different format depending on the platform. Like if you had a really like inspirational quote, you just thought of something, then you could maybe like do something like that, like record yourself and post that on Instagram, but then obviously you can have that in a tweet. And then on TikTok, you could do a dance to it.
Yeah, see?
If it made you, if the inspirational quote made you want to dance, then just dance it, dance it.
Sure. I mean, you never know what'll go viral on TikTok.
No.
It'll be a thing, just like people giving out inspirational quotes while dancing. So,
Yeah, definitely.
um, yeah, just finding out what platform and for what is really kind of the key to success when it comes to that. Another thing is making sure that you're building out a schedule for yourself. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be planned to the T, because I know like the stereotype when it comes to creatives is that you guys don't like planning. But when you really think about it, it can be something a little bit more broad. So, for example, just knowing that you're going to upload to BeatStars once a week. You don't know when, but you know it's going to be once a week. Or having something a little bit more planned out, like you know that an album drop is coming soon. So, you're going to make type beats that are relevant to that. So, the same thing goes with social media. You want to make sure that you're building kind of like these pre-plans to stuff that's going to happen. So what we do here at BeatStars is we make content buckets. Um, and what that means is like we'll have spaces for certain things. So for example, I know that Monday I'm going to put up a series post, Tuesday I'm going to put up a reel, Wednesday I'm going to put up a video. I don't know what they're going to be, but I know maybe what the structure is or where I want to go with it. So I'm still giving myself a little bit of wiggle room, but I'm also still holding myself accountable for a certain type of post or a certain
Yeah.
type of tweet or something like that. And I think doing that for yourself is really helpful when it comes to social media. I know that in the masterclass, Aaron really went into how many posts per day, how many posts per platform you should do. And it gets a little bit crazy when you really get into it. And when you really think about it, it's also a bit tough if social media isn't your like 24/7 job and you don't
Yeah.
have time to just think about this all the time. It's tough because social media really likes reels right now. For example, on Instagram, reels will get you a lot of followers, will get you a lot of engagement. You should probably be posting once to twice a day, and most of those should be reels if it's on Instagram. TikTok is super random. You can post once a month and that one can go viral, or you can post 3 times a day and you become an influencer, right? So you want to make sure that you're almost planning content so that you have something that's easy to pull from, and then you have those bigger content ideas. So, for example, when it comes to BeatStars, if you guys have followed our BeatStars, you've seen sometimes we'll do genre highlights. I'll do a genre highlight. We do one of those every 3 weeks. And I know that it's something that we can pull up from because we have tons of genres to go over, right? So that's an easy post that obviously still takes a bit of research, but that I know that I can count on. It's not going to change. A genre isn't going to randomly going to disappear. I know that I'm going to be able to count on that post for that week, right? But knowing that I have that also means that instead of spending an hour and a half trying to think of what to post, I already have something in less than 5-10 minutes, right? So then I can use the rest of the time to think about those really new and exciting ideas that I want to get out there and those bigger content pieces and how I can get people excited about these things. Because realistically, You can't do that for every single post.
No.
So you want to be able to have kind of that content that you can pull from quickly, so that you can have time for that content that really makes you excited and that you really want to present to the community, and thinking about how to do that in a really fun way. But again, that's with me from like a social media planner side of things. So I'd be interested to hear your guys' perspectives. How do you guys plan out for when you guys are, for Lee, when you're uploading your beats, and for Jamil, when you're thinking about YouTube? Because I know that's a longer process when it comes to uploading a video and long form content.
Yeah, for me, just like we offer on the BeatStars platform, I really use like the analytics and the data. I don't go into it too much, but I see that stuff. I see like what days work really well for me, the times of days that work really well, specifically for Instagram. And I kind of use the BeatStars analytics for the same thing. I'll post I've tried it. I've like posted or uploaded a beat on a specific day without any promotion, and I'm kind of gauging what days work best for me. So I kind of try to do it like that. And then other times it might be random. There might be other times where, and sometimes that's worked for me as well. Sometimes I've just uploaded a beat randomly on a Friday morning or Friday afternoon or Sunday. I think there's always, and I think it can be different for everyone else as well. So like for someone, because again, like what you went and said earlier was, going back to what you said, was like it really depends on your audience as well. So like if my audience are all based in the US, then I need to figure out that around my time zone and when I will post. So it's really, and that takes some time to figure that out. But a lot of these platforms do help you with that. Like we help you on BeatStars. We provide all the data so you can figure out, hey, like what beat's doing, what beat gets the most plays, like so you can figure out what style like your audience is looking for. You can look at the times as well, the days when you get most plays, and you can do the same on Instagram or any other social media platform. I think TikTok offers that data now as well. I'm not sure about Twitter because I'm sure they do, but I don't really utilize that much. But yeah, I would, me personally, that's what I do. I just try to look at the data, not like go into it too much. I just look at it briefly and figure out what days, what times work best, and I try to work around that. And then at least that way I can have a bit of a better schedule set, so I know, right, okay, I've got how much time I've got to create something, and it kind of, because being a creator, sometimes you can't always, like, you have moments, like there'll be like 2 weeks where I'll go through, just as an example, making loads of beats, and then there'll be 2 weeks where I don't even make one, because like you have to, like, for me, I have to like have like be in the right headspace, be in the right place emotionally and all that kind of stuff. So I think, like you said as well, Sidney, it's really just about testing as well a lot of the time, and figuring out, and that goes for any platform really, whether it's YouTube, BeatStars, Instagram, TikTok, and I'm sure Jamil's looked at the stats. We look at these videos as well, like these live streams, and see which ones are doing well. So yeah, so that's all I kind of try to do, really.
Yeah.
Right, for sure. Yeah, just speaking of stats, I found that like I do look at the stats for all of the, what is going on with my desk? It's destroying underneath me. But yeah, when I look at the stats, something that I've noticed that always makes our videos more successful is obviously the cross promotion. That is like the number one key thing that really kind of drives up a lot of the interest in our videos. So I would always recommend, which is why like we talk so much about email marketing.
Yeah.
On this show, like we've had Allison on multiple times. We've talked about Aweber. We talked about MailChimp. We've talked about like setting up a customer journey. We've talked about everything with email marketing, but it's just because like I've seen for me like what it's been able to do. You know what I mean? Like the videos with the most views are always the ones where we send out our email blasts. The
Yeah.
email blasts directly lead to most of the interest, I think, in our videos. So I know it could do the same thing for beats too. Or if you did want to use email blasts to drive people through a CTA to your social media account, whether that's
Yeah.
Twitter, whether that's Instagram, just sending an email blast, alerting them of a new product, alerting them of a new post, and then having that CTA to send them to whatever spot you want to be able to provide like additional information or content, and always like including that, like, that visit here for more of this because you want this, you know what I mean, like just like kind of leading people down that pipeline of, I have all this different stuff available and it lives in different places. So I have it all ready for you. I made it very easy for you by listing them all out here. And all you need to do is click to get to the one that you want. And that personally has really helped with engagement in the stuff that I've created. So I'm sure it'll have a positive effect if you guys were to try that out as well.
Yeah. I think it's about a culmination of things, like putting all these things together, scheduling the content that you're creating, using the analytics and the data to figure out, when your audience is most engaged as well. And as I said, a lot of these platforms offer that. So it is really good. And you touched on a really good point. I never really thought about using email marketing to um, I guess, not boost engagement, but direct people to like things on social media. Like this, I think sometimes we think, oh, with email marketing and stuff like that, I need to like be offering some value. I need to like be offering free beats or a discount code, or I need to let people know that I've got all these new beats. Like that works really well. But you could really also use, hey, look, I dropped this new funny like TikTok video, go and check it out. Like you might enjoy it. Like you could easily do that. I never really thought about utilizing that before, so that's pretty cool because it's offering something different as well.
Yeah, that post could be your value. That
Yeah,
post could
definitely,
be the thing that is adding value.
exactly. Yeah, so
So,
you just don't know.
yeah, that's a
And
really
if
interesting
if
way to
if
think.
you've got like Sidney said, if you've got all of your your links correct and everything's going to be redirecting to each other. So you send someone a social media post for your email marketing. They go, God, I really like this. They start following you. They see more of your content. You just never know. You just never know what that can do. So yeah, I quite like that concept. I never really thought of that before. I want to go and test it.
100%, 100%. And then I guess really quickly, because I know you guys do the quiz towards the end of the show.
Yeah,
The very last topic that was covered in the master class, and I think it's one of the most important, but it all ties together from the other three, is building your community and making sure that it's an engaging community, and just making sure it's full of the right followers and the right target audience. And what I mean by that is like, I already said this before, but making sure that you're catering to the right following. So, example, if you're putting up tips for new producers, not trying to reach producers that have already reached 1 million streams and are already out there getting all their play. Like, you want to make sure your audience is even to the content that you're putting out. Um, and another way that you can do this is just like organic networking when you get on social media. And what I mean by this, because sometimes networking is an intimidating phrase to some, um, is just genuinely reaching out to people that you are interested in. And
yeah,
not interested in because, oh my God, they're so famous and, I want to be connected with them because they can help me out. No. Interested in because maybe they're a new artist and you really like the way they rap or you really like their music. And also just being intentional with who you're reaching out to. So, for example, if there are these really big companies or these really big producers or artists or whatever it is that you're into, and you look them up, look up who they're connected to, who are at their events that they're going to, and maybe if you can't reach them because they might have like 2 million followers or something like that and their DMs are crazy, look at the people they're connected to. Who are they talking to? Why are they talking to those people? And maybe find some people that they're connected to that have like 10K followers or 20K followers, but that you are still interested in and that you're still researching. And then when you reach out to them, they're more likely to answer you, and obviously, again, still provide value, still be respectful. I'm not saying just like go reaching out to everybody, but do your research, do the back end work, and then in a really smart way, reach out to the people that you think, I really would like to work with them, or I really would like to interview you and learn more about you. And then little by little, you may not notice this, but little by little, when they start seeing that you're liking most of their posts or you're engaging on their stuff as well, then one of those times they're going to engage on yours. And then little by little, their followers are going to realize, hey, maybe these two people are connected. And then you're going to become that link when somebody's looking to connect with other people.
Connections make connections, basically.
It's a huge circle, and you just got to kind of play the game and keep it going. And like I'm saying, it sounds kind of, I can't think of the word right now, but it sounds like super planned out and strategic the way that I'm saying it. But when it's really when it comes in practice and you're actually doing it, it's a lot more natural than the way I'm explaining it. It's genuine interest, genuine like trust within one another, genuine I want to engage, or maybe it's somebody's birthday and I genuinely just wanted to say happy birthday. It's not as I'm explaining it, but when it's in real time and it's something you actually like, then it becomes a lot easier. And then little by little, you get that audience, and all of a sudden you have this really awesome community that has your back, knows you for you because you were being authentic, knows you for you because they were watching your reels. And then all of a sudden, boom, that's your new BeatStars family, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's really awesome.
Some really, really good information in there. I hope everyone's like picked up some tips today. I certainly have myself. I'm still learning, so some really good gems. We've dropped some gems today for sure.
For sure.
Oh man,
are we ready for the quiz?
Yeah, is it time?
I think so. We need like a drum roll or something,
You need
we need like a special sound. We need like some kind of special sound that goes off when we're ready to like quiz up.
All right, I'm gonna put up in a second. Everybody pull up Kahoot.it.
Yep.
Let me do. Okay.
Oh no! He said no quiz today. No quiz today.
He'll be back. This sometimes happens.
I have tuned into your shows before. I am familiar with with these moments.
With these technical issues.
For it.
It's you're getting to witness it live now.
We were just talking about this before we got on the show, guys. We were saying part two.
Yeah. Jamil moments. Yeah, we need like a whole like reel of these like Jamil moments, and we can just post them up somewhere.
That would be perfect. We have to tell him, and he has to put them together. I'll just send him over the clips, and then
that's something he should do on his social media. That's for sure. People would love it.
I would tune in for that.
Yeah, me too. Question is he coming back?
Yeah,
he's the only one that's got access to the quiz, so I can't.
So
we could maybe come up with some questions, but you'll just have to put them in the chat.
Oh no! All right,
he's definitely gone. He'll be back.
Well, let's go through the comments. Do you guys have
let's have a look.
Any more questions while we wait for Jamil? Any, I guess, examples?
Cloud9 likes that idea. He loves that idea.
Let's see.
Yes, whilst we have a couple of minutes before Jamil comes back, feel free to drop some questions in there, and we'll do our best to kind of answer them for you about anything about today's show or anything else. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got some. Oh, he's back.
Sorry, my computer had 8% battery left and it's died out of nowhere. All right.
I don't know if you heard what we said, but we said that Sydney said that she's tuned in a few times and she's seen like the bloopers. And we should create a reel for you, you know, like all these different moments that you have on the Academy show.
Yeah, we should do that. That would be really funny.
You gotta post it on your socials.
Yes.
I'll post it on example. I'm not afraid to laugh at myself for sure. All right. There we go, guys. It is 1343809. Give everybody a few minutes to get in here.
Yeah, we're okay to run over a bit, aren't we, today? Do we have anything?
Yeah, we can go over a couple minutes.
Okay.
Marcus is like, no.
Mr. Moderator. I wonder who that is.
Yeah, I wonder who that could be. Who's the moderator here? Eighth Life Classic. I think he and Cloud9 might be the two winningest people.
Yeah. Oh, that's a new entry. Never seen Grandtastic Beat.
Yeah,
I kind of like that name as well. Grandtastic Beat. That's pretty cool.
I was about to say that. I like that name.
Yeah, very cool.
Maybe is he grand and fantastic, or is he?
Well, I think that's what he's alluding to. Yeah, that's some great.
He might be a gran. He might be like a granny or something.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
That's a perfect name because now we have to go look him up to find out.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, you see. That's the thing. You just like sometimes you see these names and it is intriguing. Like, you know, having a good producer name, you know, could be a winner for you. You just don't know.
100%.
If it sounds interesting.
There we go. I knew it.
What's that?
He said that my nickname is Granny. It's a spin-off of last name.
Oh, okay, cool. That's pretty cool.
I was just watching Last Night in Soho. I watched that a couple of days ago. Really good movie, by the way. You guys should check it out. But it was just funny because like Americans don't really call their grandparents like gran, but apparently British people do. I did not know that. But I was like, oh, gran. That's catchy. I like that. All right. We got
maybe one more
minute. Wait for people to get in. 13. I think last time we didn't have that many, so I'm happy to see more people again.
No, we didn't. Yeah. So remember, if you finish in the top 3, if you place in the top 3, you'll get added to the official BeatStars Academy playlist. Whoop, whoop.
This quiz, there was no like proofreading because I usually do it with Lee, but this time I did it by myself, so it might be a little bit unhinged. Just warning you guys.
I'm at work. I like that one.
All right. At least he's honest. All right, let's start up. Let's do it. This is the social media quiz. All right. What is included in value proposition? Ooh. Why, what, who, or all of the above? Do you like this GIF, Sidney?
I love this GIF. I feel like you chose it for me.
Making it rain. Okay, need a few more people to buzz in. Take all the time you need. You have a minute per question.
Yeah.
If I'm at work, suddenly logs off, then you'll know what happened. His boss caught him.
What if he wins, though? He's really
about it.
Really about that.
Rooting for it.
I wonder if that's his producer name, because we might struggle to find him on BeatStars. If you win, you're going to have to put your name in the chat so we know how to find you. If that's your producer name, that's pretty cool.
That'd be kind of funny. I mean, we've never heard of that person. All right, yeah. So answer is all the above. That was the gimme. Oh, Marcus with the quickness. 982. Is it a good idea to use an image of Olivia Rodrigo on a little book?
I should have known this was going to happen the moment I used that example.
And Olivia is disappointed at the thought of this question.
Remember, the quicker you answer, the more points you get. So
don't disappoint Olivia, guys. All right. By the way, I listened to Sour like 5 times in the last week, and it slaps. It gets better every time I listen to it. Just saying. Okay, good. I was starting to get worried that it was taking so long. Yeah, it's not a good idea. Use appropriate imagery, or else people will get confused and they won't want to click on stuff.
yeah, stuff that makes sense.
Okay. Which of these is not a potential negative effect of using an inappropriate hashtag? Sorry, I messed that up. Is the social media platform may stop showing your content to people. People will not engage with your content because it is not relevant to them. People will think you're just spamming to get more views, or people will respect your hustle and like your post anyway.
Hashtag glamorous. I just spotted that.
I'm really excited for these questions, mainly now because I just want to see all the gifts.
I tried to pick the best gifts.
This is quite good for me as well because I'm normally a part of making the questions, so it's kind of exciting to me to see what Jamil's raffled up.
Yeah, so it was which of these is not a potential negative effect? I don't think people respecting your hustle would be negative. I'm not too sure how often that would happen, that people would just be like, you know what, you fooled me, but I got to give it to you. It might happen, but that is definitely not a positive. All of these are potential negative effects, though. We alluded to some of those earlier where, you make a shadow band, as they would say. That was the reference in the red option. And if people just search for things and they're not finding what they expected, they're not going to keep clicking on your stuff to be like, okay, maybe that was a fluke. People make kind of snap judgments online. If something isn't relevant to them or they don't like it right away within the first few seconds, they'll probably just they'll probably just give up on it and skip over it. So
yeah,
make sure you're using, appropriate hashtags. So the audience that wants to find your stuff is finding your stuff and not the wrong people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Cloud9 shut.
There we go. Okay, I'm
at work. Oh, sitting third.
You should adjust your social media strategy for different platforms. True or false?
Good question. You need more followers.
I don't know what show that's from, but I thought it was pretty funny.
God, this music's a bit tense.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit what we're kind of talking about. There we go. True or falses? You guys are doing very well. I'm very proud of you guys.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
All platforms don't function the same, so you need a little bit of adjusting depending on, you might notice that your audience is even a little bit different on different platforms.
Yeah.
If you're making cook up TikToks, that might be a different audience of people that are just kind of like looking for those like regular beat posts that you might have on your Instagram or your Twitter. So there needs to be a little bit of tweaking. You got to put the work in for each one to be able to maintain, that level of success that you want.
Yeah.
All right. So going to the last question, we got Cloud9, Alice Bino, and I'm at work, rounding out the top 3 with Eighth Life very close behind, only 13 points.
Still game.
Anyways. Double points.
Oh.
What is a content bucket?
Good question. A bucket.
A bucket you pull ideas out of? a schedule of your content for the week, the minimum amount of social posts you need to be successful, or themes that guide your social strategy and help create consistent content?
Good
And
question.
then you got the golden doodle kind of like, what is going on here?
That was us earlier when you went offline. Like, where's Jamil? I can't see him.
It was funny when I went offline because like I literally just noticed that I was at 8%, and I was like, I gotta plug my, and then it just disconnected. I was
Oh,
really
I hate that.
I gotta plug in my computer.
Yeah, that percentage is not accurate.
It is definitely. I don't know what's wrong with this computer.
They didn't even let you get the warning out.
No.
I know. So mad. All right. Yeah. Content bucket is themes that guide your social strategy and help create consistent content.
Yep.
All right. Let's see what's going on. We got 3 people that got it wrong. So if any of these people were in the top 3, then we might have a new third place or second place.
Oh, Cloud9.
Third. 8-5.
5.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was gonna happen.
We called it.
Wow.
We called it.
Wow.
I knew that. I knew that was gonna happen. It was just in the writing. That was. Great work. Great work, everyone. Fantastic.
Yeah, that was this was a good show. I want to thank Sidney again for joining and and hooking us up with the knowledge about social media. I'm at work. Tell us who you are. Can we do a quick search on BeatStars if that is?
Yeah. I'm interested. I'm gonna go check you out.
Maybe
now.
it's one of the regulars incognito.
Could be.
I'm about to blow all his cover.
Maybe it was Marcus.
Marcus he was on 2 accounts.
He's at work, so it could be.
He is at work. He is working. No, I don't see an I'm at work. So let us know.
Oh, so it's LA in the chat. Oh, I'm at work. I took pictures. I'll send to Sidney. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
You didn't want to send it to us? Come on, I'm just kidding. You can send it to Sidney.
Okay. I'll send it over to them, but
All right. Well, thank you guys again. We'll see you in a couple weeks for the next Academy.
Yep.
Peace out.
Peace out, everyone.
thanks for watching, guys.